Why did you retire so early?
I'm sure that a lot of people out there, of course there's been a lot of things said, and this is the first time I've talked, but one of the things that people, from what I understand, are saying is that Brett retired because the Packers or Ted Thompson didn't ask me back. That's totally untrue. They wanted an answer before free agency / draft. And Mike McCarthy called every week. After about a 2 or 3 week grace period after the season, Mike would call, hey, how's things going? Where you at with your decision? I said, boy, Mike, I'm kind of burnt out right now and just need some time. I said, boy, it'd be nice if I could wait till training camp. Well, we have a different direction we got to go in. If you're not going to be here, we need to sign someone, which is fine. I totally understand that. But I was not ready to totally commit. And the bottom line, I said that in my press conference, regardless of what people think, the bottom line, March 3rd, when I got in front of the podium, did I want to play? Yes. 100%? No. And I think people who have followed my career, people who know me closely, I won't play if I'm not 100% committed. I could have easily said, you know what, I'll take the money, I'll come back, and hopefully I'll get committed somewhere either before training camp, during training camp, or during the season. No one will know, but that's not me. And so on March 3rd, when I got in front of the podium, I was not, and one of the things I said, Greta, was I know I can play, but at this time, I don't think I want to. And sort of left the door open. But they wanted an answer. And am I mad at them for that? No. And I think that's what needs to be cleared up, is that, hey, you wanted an answer? I gave you the honest answer at that time, as opposed to lying to you and saying, yeah, oh yeah, I'll come back, and, giving you not what's expected of me, and that's 100% effort.
After the early March press conference, when you made it, and it was a very it was an emotional time for you. I take you liked being a Packer.
I can't envision being with anyone else, or haven't envisioned being with anyone else. That has always been my focus. As I said then, I will say now, really, as I've said my whole career, playing in Green Bay is, and you're from up there, there is nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And it has been, it's one of those things, it was destiny. Kid from South Mississippi, a lot like Bart Starr. Who would ever thought I would go to Green Bay and have the career I had? And it's unfortunate that it has come to this. And I'm sure there are a lot of fans out there thinking, from what they've heard, that Brett is a traitor, he wants to go play elsewhere. That's not true. I was told that playing in Green Bay was not an option, regardless of what you hear from up there. And, I'm not making it up. I was told that playing in Green Bay was not an option. And then I was told that we can't imagine you playing, or can't envision you playing with another team as well. What does that tell me? It tells me we don't want you playing, period.
Have you signed any papers at this point saying you retired? Any official papers?
No, I have not signed any official papers.
And they know that there's back and forth, you're not 100% certain, and you've actually, this has happened sort of prior years on a much more moderate scale, the question of whether they're going to retire or not. So it's no great surprise to them that you sometimes have second thoughts at this point.
No, it's not a surprise. And, I understand how the public is kind of like, make up your mind already. But there's no way I can expect them to understand what I'm going through. What
are you going through at this point?
Well, to be totally honest with you, and to simplify it as easy as I can. And I think if you were to poll players who have played as long as me, or almost as long as me, if you said, come March, whether you are coming back, or your intentions are to come back, or you're wishy-washy or whatever, in March, are you committed one way or the other? They're going to tell you no. They're going to tell you no.
Did you talk to Coach McCarthy in June or text message him?
Talked to him on June 20th. That was it.
And said what? What was the conversation?
Well, it was small talk for a while, and I said, Mike, I'm thinking about coming back. I've been working out up at the high school. I said, and that was a big hurdle for me to get over. Do I want to get up and go up there and run and throw? Which I did that this morning, and I feel good. And I said, I have to admit, I'm thinking about it. And I said, I want your take on it. And if I'm going to play, it's going to be in Green Bay, but I need to find out what their take is. And I could just see him. He's oh, Brett, I mean, it's, we moved on. And I said, moved on? And yeah, we moved on. I had to tell the team something. You told me you were not 100% committed back. Not only when you retired, but several weeks before. After. When we were talking about coming down there, and we've had that conversation. And you said you were not 100% committed. I said, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I said, but Mike, and it was a good conversation. And we've always had good communication, the two of us. And I said, you're right. I totally agree. I was not 100% committed. And I said, but you guys wanted an answer in March, and I gave you the honest answer. And I said, had I been able to wait until training camp, that would have been great. So why didn't you tell me that? We would have let you do it. And I thought to myself, well, you told me before the draft, or free agency, and they ended up drafting 2 kids in the draft. So that kind of tells you.
2 quarterbacks.
2 quarterbacks. And once again, that's okay. That's fine. All I was asking in June 20th is, okay, you guys have a different path? Fine. What does that mean for me? And so I say, so that means either you give me my helmet, welcome back, you release me, or attempt to trade me. And we all know that that's a possibility, but way out there possibility. And he says, well, playing here is not an option, but we can't envision you playing with another team either. And I thought, so basically I'm not playing for anyone if I choose to come back. And I understand, I'm guilty of one thing, and that's retiring early, and I have an answer for that. And have spoken on that. And I knew that I would have second thoughts, and I think Mike has even made the comment that, I knew Brett would go through this. I knew that he would have these second thoughts. Well, I am. And so, you're telling me playing there is not an option, but playing elsewhere, we just can't, we're trying to protect your legacy. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. But apparently now they're wanting to protect my legacy by bringing me back and having me be a backup. Boy, that is really good.
Are you?
Yeah, I would hope so. And and I keep going back and talking with people. I am guilty of retiring early, and there is a reason for that. And there's been the major issues is why did he retire? And he asked for release because he doesn't want to play in Green Bay. That's not true. And I hope that the people are hearing this and go, okay, that clears it up. And there's going to be some people that say, so what? And once again, them moving on does not bother me. It doesn't. I totally understand that. That was by me retiring March 3rd, I knew that could possibly happen. All I was saying is, thinking about playing again. The itch has been used. That's been the word that has been used. If you want to say itch or, the fire is coming back or whatever. If I'm going to play, it's going to be 100% commitment. And it's not going to be in March. And so if you've moved on, you tell me one thing. Don't come back and tell the public. Just say it. We've moved on, and we'll work with Brett on whatever it is. Don't make up a lot of stuff or give half of the truth. Say we want to let you be our backup, and he's got to understand this. And so, it's ridiculous. It really is.
Now we have much more of our